Hello and welcome everybody to the Extronic Podcast. This is the first one in 2022, and we're going to kick things off again with, I think the newest addition to the ensemble, and we're going to introduce her, get chatting to her about her career and her past experiences musically before joining Acastronic, and from Acastronic onwards, all the stuff that she's been up to. So, without further ado, Donna Marie, how are you?
All right. I'm good.
How's the form? Everything all good back in Derry?
I all good.
Good. Um, so I'm gonna be just asking about 10, 11, 12 quick fire questions about you and your past and some of the cool projects you've worked on, and then I know with the other guys, we all touched upon COVID and how it affected your music making and your day to day kind of life. So we'll probably mention that as well at some stage.
Oh, all right.
But yeah. So yeah, we're kick off in the same fashion. So can you give us a bit of background to you, who you are, your hobbies, favorite pastimes, things like that.
Well, I'm Donna Ray, aka WeDM is my rapper name. Um, I um, I've been making music for about the last 10, 11 years maybe, and songwriting and creative writing is definitely one of my main hobbies. Like writing poems and that would be
Oh,
one of my main hobbies too. So,
cool. One of my favorite artist of all time, Phil Lynott. He was big around poetry. It was only like years after I got to know him that I found out that he was quite big into poetry, and it really tells in the songs. So that
oh,
you,
it
sorry.
it definitely helps with songwriting too. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just about to ask, like, do you see the direct connection? Like, do you think if you didn't do poetry or creative writing, do you think that would affect your music making?
Oh, definitely. Especially as a rapper, because poetry helps with like the syllables and the words and stuff as well for
I
the actual
gotcha.
breakdown for the rapping.
Yeah, no, of course. I suppose all the rhyming schemes too. Like,
Yeah,
there's a lot of similarities there across both genres and both
yeah.
disciplines. No, that's
Uh,
cool. I will somewhere on screen or somewhere in the description, or put links as well to some of your music, some of your rapping that you've done. I'm gonna be brutally honest. I don't think I've heard any of it yet, but I think I'm definitely going to be checking it out afterwards.
oh yeah.
Um, so yeah, we have links, contact details, Facebook pages about how to get on board and have a listen to all these cool tracks.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Cool. Right. So straight away off the bat there, you've kind of said that you're creative music and music creator, performer, and kind of a wordsmith. So like,
Yeah.
how did you start your music career? Where if we were to say where's Donna Marie's beginning point,
Um,
where did that start?
well, I was in the middle of doing a business marketing degree at uni, and I decided that that degree wasn't for me. So I left uni and enrolled in the nerve center production course first, along with their performance. So I stayed there for 3 years. So I suppose that's where my music career would start.
Cool. So your music degree, or not music degree, your music career, and tell me if I'm wrong, is it's not that long.
No, it's for 10 years maybe.
10 years. So yeah, so because I know when we had John on, he was like in the pipe band and he was doing stuff like when he was really young, and like like he 100% says that that's what got him into music. But like, whereas you're a bit older, and then you
Yeah.
decided there and then you're like, no, not for me. Business. I'm gonna go
uh,
straight into music.
I wanted to do my, I still want to do my own record label, you see, so I thought the business studies side would help me with that.
Oh, okay.
But I wanted the more creative side.
It sounds like me and you need to have a chat offline too, because I absolutely want my own studio, which
Yeah,
could be a studio record label. Um,
yeah.
so who knows? We might get the wheels in motion here, and we might next time people see us, we could be
Quite a big
multi-million.
company.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely,
Oh,
rolling in it.
why
Right.
not?
So so in terms of your music background, so we asked where you started, but like your music background, so stuff that interests you, like favorite artists, favorite genres, or even like does that change? Like I chat to a lot of people and you meet them one week and they're like, oh my god, I absolutely love Bring Me the Horizon, and then the next week they're going, oh man, I recently found Dr. Dre, never listened to him before, and he's just unbelievable. Like, would your influence of music change?
Well, uh, my main influences to start off my career were like artists like, I don't know if you ever heard of him, a rapper, Wildman from Derry, um, Eamon Craig.
Oh, the name sounds familiar. I don't know why, but maybe I
I was
have.
I was in a drama group with him,
Oh yeah.
so I so that kind of made me realize that people locally were doing the same kind of, you
Oh yeah. That always helps. Like when you know that there's um. I was going to say strength in numbers, but like like if there's a community feel of like a lot of people are doing this and there's that sense of support, it always makes like it always makes it a lot easier because you're kind of like, oh, well, if he's doing it or she's doing it, I can I can gig with them and they can help and
I
kind of get things going.
yeah. Um, but as for my actual musical taste, Eminem and other
Yeah,
spoken word artists like George the Poet and all that.
cool. Eminem was in mine as well growing up. It was like,
Uh,
well, it was mum. It was my mum who always had it on in the car, and it was just like it was second nature to us. So we would just be listening to it, going, "This is really cool." And then, yeah,
but a good song's a good song. I wouldn't be totally closed off to just rap. Like I
yeah.
think doing music production opens you up to every type of music. Like
Yeah, no, absolutely. But just on that point, as you bring up music production, because obviously you said earlier that you do quite a lot of it.
yeah,
Um, can you like rhyme off some of the genres then? Because
uh,
we're chatting rap, but can you tell me some of the different genres that you've worked across? Just because,
indie,
um, sorry,
uh, indie, like indie rock.
yeah,
Um, some country and a lot of trad dance online
really?
while in the nerve center. Yeah,
Oh, cool.
yeah. They're interesting. They record, so they are because
Yeah.
they have to make eye contact with each other when they're recording.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah. I find that with jazzers as well.
Mm,
A lot of jazz. I've done a few sessions before where it's everything isolated, so they do it multi-tracked, layered, and then I've had other sessions where it's just a live jazz recording.
yeah.
And for me, anyway, I think they're absolutely monster musicians who can do both really, really well. But there's just
Oh,
something extra special when they're doing it live and they can see each other and kind of read the room and read what's about to happen. I think that's pretty cool.
yeah, it is.
Yeah. No, that sounds pretty cool. So can you going back to kind of like where you started? Can you give me a rough kind of roadmap of where you started, maybe a couple of like landmark points, and then where you are today?
Yeah. Well, like I was saying, I was in that drama group with the other rapper back in 2008. That was in the middle of my degree. So I was thinking about music since then, but obviously I wanted to finish my degree at that point. But after the third year of my degree, I realized it wasn't for me at all. It was during the dissertation stage. It just went, no. So I applied to the nurse center then
Cool.
for
So
them
sorry, carry
for
on.
them, for them 3 years. I did all three courses then.
So after the nerve center, what was your main music creation outlet, I suppose, or what was your goals?
Well, during my time at the nurse center, I actually released my first two EPs as assignments, but I released them on Bandcamp at the same time. So,
Cool.
uh, um, so through that, uh, after the nerve center courses, I got put on the Music City lineup for 2015. The festival here in the town. So that got
Oh
me.
yes, yes. No, sorry, I was sitting here trying to think back and go, what was that again? But yeah, no, that's cool.
So that got me music out there a bit more.
Yeah.
Um, and it was during a performance there where the Project Sparks team met me. So,
Cool. So I know you are heavily involved with Project Sparks. So just as you bring them up there, can you tell us a little bit about them?
we are a group of both learning and physical disabled musicians who mentor primary school children and other young people through music. Um, we make up songs like based around the primary school curriculum. Like at the minute we're doing a song about the nine times tables and that.
Oh, cool.
Um, uh,
I'd I-
uh,
I'd I'd say that must be really really exciting and kind of cool to be able to be mentoring, teaching, songwriting right across like school based topics like that. Like it's I I
oh,
I I know for a fact me listening and studying with music helps me
okay.
remember everything so much better.
Oh,
So it must be pretty cool for you guys to be like creating these brand new songs that's going to help people with their education.
yeah. And as part of the project too, a lot of it, um, we talk about our disability and that too. So getting primary school children more accepting of disability and difference as well.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely 100% behind that.
yeah, I love being part of that sort of. Yeah.
Oh, I'd say so. So like, how long are you in Project Sparks now?
We're going on to our 50th year now.
Fifth.
Yeah,
Cool.
fifth and 5 years in March.
5 years in March.
Yeah.
Big party planned.
Uh,
Well, hopefully,
yeah.
especially after all the lockdowns and stuff for the past couple of years, it'd be good to
Uh,
get out and get a wee party going. So so Project Sparks happens, and then is there anything? So because I knew the other members of Akasai, I should say that when I've only met Donna maybe twice actually in person.
Yeah.
And then I ended up finishing my master's and moving over to England, where I currently am, to do work in a university here in Cambridge. Um, so like so this is really really interesting for me because there's a lot of stuff I don't know about you, but I'm also learning a lot about what's happening around Derry as a community just from this chat. So like, was there anything between Project Sparks and you joining Acastronic, or was
I did it.
Project sorry?
I did it. I did it at the same time.
All right,
Um, I've been friends with Jay since primary school, so
cool.
I actually went to my first meeting with Ecostronic in my first year in the nerve centre just to see what Ecostronic was about and you know, get the feel for it.
Yeah,
And I know Joan since primary school as well.
yeah.
Um, yeah,
All right. No, okay. See what I mean? Learning new stuff left, right, and center here, just from chatting to yourself. So so you went along when pretty much then at the very very start,
yeah.
and then
Just
I'm guessing maybe you got a bit busy with Project Sparks and a few other things when maybe you
uh,
couldn't commit earlier, but obviously then you've rejoined.
yeah. It's when everybody kind of had the roles in their projects at that time as well. Like, so,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, so like, so now that we have a rough timeline of your musical background, if I was to ask you right now, the absolute top memory of your whole time creating music, what would that be?
probably when my EP was released and I did a launch night in the Nerve Centre and it's, I've released the vinyl, so I have a physical copy of my record too. So
Nice.
that's nice. I always wanted, actually, I had recorded before, like, but I never had the physical copies.
Well, good. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's something extra special about having the physical
Yeah,
copy of something that you've kind of poured your blood, sweat, and tears into. Just to have
yeah,
that afterwards is pretty cool. Um, so you had a launch night and everything up in the Nerve Center.
yeah.
So
Um,
was that for your first EP or the second,
Third,
third?
yeah,
Jeez, good on you.
yeah.
Cool. Um,
Do you know,
all right.
do you,
Well,
do you
sorry,
know Glenn, do you know Glenn Rosborough? Okay.
don't think I do.
He's the tutor on. He was the tutor of the nerve center when I was there, and he was in a band in the early 2090s called Kerma 45. So he had a big fan base. So a lot of his fans were there in my launch as well because he's featured on a couple of the tracks
Oh,
as
that's
well.
cool.
Mhm.
Well, I'll tell you what, absolutely. We're definitely have links to your online music presence, so that
Yeah.
we can share it around, and also gives me more fresh music to be listening to, which is, you know, me being selfish, but I'm always on the lookout there for new artists and new influences and inspirations. So
Yeah.
yeah, cool. Look forward to that one. So just when you're chatting about him kind of featuring on the album or the EP, it has me thinking. And also it's a question that I asked everybody else. How many instruments can you play?
I can't physically play any of them, but I can show somebody how to play the keyboard and I know how to read music. I can
Ah,
read.
very good.
So all I would need is somebody's hands really to show them how to play.
you know who that kind of reminds me of? Um, Michael Jackson. He I'm being really hazy now on the details, but he would he would go up to guitarists or bassists and he would just kind of hum or sing what he would kind of want them to do.
Yeah.
And like I'm not entirely sure if he himself could play it or if he himself played guitar. Like I said, very hazy on it. But that kind of sounds like it. Like you have the ability to turn to somebody and be like, my musical idea, give me your hands and do this and do it perfectly for me.
Yeah.
Well, but I know from your time in Acastronic you would have done. Were you there for the leap motion?
Yeah.
So like, how did you get on with that stuff, or did you find that maybe not as exciting as um kind of teaching somebody what it is that's in your head?
I like both, but I like creating my own stuff more.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, no, there's something about hearing it up here and then putting it onto paper or computer or whatever. Just yeah, it's pretty cool.
uh,
So, Donna, so what's been your favorite Acastronic gig to date? I think you've had a handful, but you know which one stands out most for you?
Probably the Greek showcase gig that we did for one of the students that was a part of her master's because it gave us a chance to learn about a new culture and a wee bit of a different language as well at the time.
Cool. So, did you pick up any Greek?
Literally, like 3 words, I think. Um,
Do you remember them now?
um,
No.
no, I don't, Ryan, no.
No, it was a bit of a on the spot test there, but it was
Yeah,
just me messing about.
yeah,
But no, yeah, I remember hearing that piece because I was away at the time, but I remember also seeing some footage of it, and it looked like a really fun piece to be involved in.
yeah.
Um,
So it was a bit different, like,
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Of course, that's one thing that we're kind of big on anyway. In Acastronic is well, a few things we're big on is trying to do things differently
yeah,
and aiding in research, which obviously has the student element of it. And as I now know with Project Sparks, you do a lot of that anyway, where you're very much the teacher role. So I
yeah,
suppose with students coming in being like, can I do my undergrad or my master's, and then bringing new ideas, and then obviously you being the teacher mentor role, you know, I'm sure that side of it was really important and interesting to you.
yeah. I think both sides of it is, yeah.
Good. Um, so I have a couple more questions. Nothing that's going to take us too long now. Uh, I should say that going forward, I am hoping to maybe do a couple more of these where hopefully with COVID now being in the rear view mirror, hopefully we can do these in person now instead. So I'd show up or
Yeah,
take a few cameras and stuff, and we'll do a few more, I suppose, showing a few secrets or a few processes of what it is we do and how it's done, so that if anybody's interested, they can see it. And
yeah,
then if we have any information stuff, we'll throw up that as well about upcoming gigs, upcoming releases, which I
wow.
think, you know, well, I have from the other videos that we've done. I've already had so many people say, uh, when's the next gig happening? So
Uh,
that's cool. But how obviously so that was us chatting about your whole music thing and everything right up to, I'd say, COVID, because then obviously COVID comes and it just like
like,
wipes the arts off of the face of the earth, in
yeah.
terms of a live event happening. So how was it for you? Because I know for Acastronic, well, the guys who just have Acastronic and not Project Sparks, like yourself. I know it was like a big change to go from so busy with a creative music outlet to almost nothing.
Yeah, it was the same for me too. Both Acasonic and Project Sparks, we were doing everything over Zoom.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, I mean, thank God for Zoom.
yeah.
It was, there's like an ongoing joke in my family that if we could time travel, we would go back and buy shares in Zoom because it's like, I'm not sure. People probably did know about it before the pandemic, but since the pandemic, I think like its stock must have gone through the roof. But what was oh yeah, so obviously you'd Zoom and you Acastronic, you had Project Sparks happening over Zoom. So I guess you were in the same boat as all of us, where that was kind of the
Only,
creative outlet to make sure that we could actually stay mentally fairly sane. Yeah.
yeah, that was it. I was writing a lot, but I didn't record any of a lot of lyrics though to be recorded stuff.
Ah, cool. So is this EP number 700 on the way?
If I can get a studio.
Yeah, that's true. Do you So I'm pretty much coming to the end of these questions. This happened as well in all the other podcasts where I would start scrolling and I'd be like, "Oh, we answered that. We answered that. We answered that," just because we're just chatting. But so a couple of your Acastronic gigs then were the Greek project and the St. Patrick's Day one where you live. So this was before COVID, where you played with a string quartet who were in Manchester at the time, and you guys were in Derry, and it was all done online. What was that like? Because I remember watching it, but in terms of the actual playing, what was that like for you guys to like not have the string quartet actually in the room?
Awkward because of the delay of the online thing.
Was it like really noticeable, or was it something that you could kind of work around and?
Oh, you can work around it, like, but I suppose when you're playing, you still feel it, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah, no, because watching and hearing the audio coming out from the live stream, it was perfectly in sync because I knew that piece inside out as well. Non-zero sum, which it was really cool to actually kind of sit back and just watch it all happening and not be in the room, I suppose. Like to see the live performance happening, that side of things was really cool.
I wasn't actually playing in that piece because the guys had already played it before, so everybody had already had their parts before I joined, but I was there watching it.
Oh, okay, so you were there
as an audience member, kind of.
Oh, okay. Well, I suppose then it would have been even. Yeah, it would have been a bit stranger then if that was the case, because I suppose when you're performing, your mind's kind of it's zoned in and stuff, but you might not notice a delay here or there. Whereas if you're just an audience member, you might. Well, I suppose it depends how actively listening, how much active listening you're doing. Yeah. So this isn't on my list of questions. So what kind of future projects are you do you have, like, maybe it's only an idea, or maybe it's something that you have lined up for certain, but like what kind of future projects do you have that are coming up?
We'll definitely keep working with Project Sparks and take up any opportunity for songwriting or music production that comes my way, basically. As I say, from March, I'm a bit more freed up with Project Sparks, so if anybody knows of any other projects coming up.
Cool. So we can say that you're Project Sparks based, absolutely, and that you're also a bit of a freelancer.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, we'll obviously be having you coming in and hopefully doing a few things with Acastronic as well.
Well, I definitely when things get back to 50.
Yeah, absolutely. I think everybody's just they're like everybody's waiting for that like call to come where it's like, right, let's all meet up again.
Yeah.
So but yeah, I think that's us all covered for this kind of getting to know the guys who work and compose in Acastronic and perform.
Yeah.
But we're absolutely 100% have you back on for another one
Oh,
down the line, you know.
Be good to do one together with everybody from Pakistan.
Absolutely, that's on my radar. That would be a big goal. I would love to do one of them where a couple of cameras, a couple of mics set up on everybody, and we either sit around and just chat about everything and anything, or we maybe do a little performance. Then we can do a whole, like, I could walk around with a camera. Someone go, hey Donna, can you explain to me a little bit here what it is you're doing?
Yeah.
Because I still remember my first time sitting down watching Acastronic, and I was watching the guys and I thought, yeah man, I understand all this. Yeah, not a problem. I could easily do this. And then one practice session, one of the guys was running late, so I stepped in for them.
Yeah.
And I never felt so like out of my depth ever. I was just sitting there going, like, I know what I'm doing, but it just doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound as good as what the guys do. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah. So yeah. Thank you very much, Donna.
No
Great chatting to
bother.
you. And
You too. You haven't seen me in a while. So,
yeah, it was good to see you too. Actually, there is one more question.
Yeah.
If I asked you to spit out some rap lines right now, would you be able to do it?
Not really without the beat.
All right, no, fair enough. I would try beatboxing, but I think that would just go horrendously wrong. Anyway, yeah, cheers for the chat, Donna. It was great. I've learned a lot about you and a lot about the community and what's happening out in Derry.
Yeah, no problem.
You know, and it's still all going on, which is fantastic. So
Yeah, virtually as we can, like, but
we're always find a way to kind of keep those things going, which is good because they're 100% needed.
Yeah.
But yeah, so cheers, Donna. Thank you very much.
Bye bye. See you later.